Ms. Whitman, the man you claim you love is standing in our courtroom hallway.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you confess you cheated on him with the defendant.
That's right, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Anderson. So today you're here to determine the paternity of your 1-month-old daughter, Michaela, in hopes of saving your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Anderson, you say you knew Ms. Whitman was in a relationship when you slept with her, yet claim she was also intimate with other men as well. Furthermore, you say you hope today's results will prove you are not the father of Ms. Whitman's daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Whitman, you were in a relationship with Mr. Mapson.
Yes, we were in a relationship.
Then you ended up cheating on him with Mr. Anderson.
That's right, Your Honor.
So now explain.
Well, me and Mr. Mitchell met at a bus station when I was coming from Chicago to Arkansas. And we kind of like kicked it off quick and became girlfriend and boyfriend. And 2 months into relationship, I met Mr. Anderson. And we were pretty much like friends, and because I thought Mr. Mitchell was cheating, I kind of went to him and we were texting.
So then you started giving Mr. Anderson a little bit more attention.
Yes, Your Honor, that's right.
Continue.
And we kind of pretty much was just friends at first, and then it just was kind of like friends with benefits. It wasn't like all the time.
That would be casual, right, Jerome?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And now your fear is that Mr. Anderson is Michaela's father.
That's right, Your Honor.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Anderson, you have doubts.
Yes, I do.
Please explain.
Well, I have doubts because I know she was sleeping with other men besides me.
Specifically, how do you know that?
Because I've seen them up there, Your Honor.
Up where?
Me, for one.
No, I need details. This is court. I need details. I need facts.
Okay.
You say...
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you say you saw them with your own eyes.
Yeah,
Explain
yes.
to the court.
Look, we are all, this is a small town. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows who drives what. This particular person I know stayed with her a week.
Really? And you know who this guy is?
I know him. He's one of my cousins.
Oh! So one of your cousins stayed up there with her for a week?
Yes.
Did your cousin tell you that he slept with her?
Yeah, we done gave each other daps and everything.
Ms. Whitman, do you know who this cousin is?
Yes, I know who his cousin is, but his cousin did not stay a week.
Well, how long did he stay?
His cousin never stayed at my house, period.
Was he at your house?
He came there,
Did you
yes.
sleep with him?
No, I did not. His cousin liked me, but we never slept together. He bought me a bed when I first
I'm not
moved to
talking
my
about that.
apartment.
I'm not talking about that
He bought
cousin.
you a bed?
I'm not talking about that cousin.
Yes. I don't know.
I'm not talking about
Wait a
that
minute. Wait, there are more cousins? Hold on.
No, I don't know what cousin he's talking about.
Hold on, Mr. Anderson. So you do know his car?
Yes.
And so you know it was him?
Yes.
And you saw the car parked there?
Yes.
All right. I want to understand, how did you figure out or find out that Miss Whitman was pregnant?
Well, actually, Facebook, my baby mama, she didn't even call me.
I sent you the picture of the pregnancy test.
And you sent it to Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you send it to anybody
yes.
else?
Yes, she. No.
I sent it to Mitch, too, through Facebook.
Mr. Mapson?
Yes, Mr. Mapson, Your Honor.
Was he excited about the pregnancy?
Yes, he was very excited. And then, like, maybe 2 weeks later, I told him there could be someone else.
You did?
Yes, I did,
So
Your Honor.
2 weeks after you initially told him, I am pregnant, you were honest and said, this child could be someone else's.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, I think it's time we talk to Mr. Mapson. Please escort him in.
Right, come on with me. Have you go up to the witness stand next to the judge. How you doing, John?
Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Mapson. So we're here, of course, discussing the paternity as it relates to beautiful Michaela. And we understand Ms. Whitman has testified that she was in a relationship with you at the time the child was conceived.
Yes.
Did you have any idea that she was sleeping with other people?
I kind of had suspicions because of our relationship. It was a long distance relationship. And after a while, you know how long distance relationship is.
Did you show up to the hospital and participate in the birth with her?
At first, my intentions was to show up at the hospital, but just knowing that it could have been somebody else's kid, I didn't want to just involve myself. To involve myself in that situation, then find out that it's not mine, I didn't feel comfortable with that.
So you didn't go to any doctor's appointments with her?
Nope.
And-
Sometimes I call and promise her that I would come, but I just couldn't. I ain't show up.
And were you all still supposed to be in this relationship at the time? Were you all trying to work through this?
Yeah, we was still working through it. I feel bad for not showing up, telling her I was gonna show up, but it was just the situation. It wasn't right.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I went through the whole birth alone, the whole 9 months. He even stopped talking to me, and I couldn't get a hold of Mr. Anderson because he blocked all communications, Facebook, telephone, and he stopped answering the phone for me, Mr. Mapson.
The reason I blocked her off because of the stuff she was doing on Facebook. She was, you know what I'm saying, just out there just saying, this is my baby daddy, knowing she been with other
I've
people.
never put on Facebook
You know what I'm saying?
that you're my baby daddy.
People will ask me, even my baby mama, my girl I'm with. I ain't with her now because that's destroyed, you know.
So since you had such real doubts, did you pursue a DNA test at all? Did you say, I want to have a paternity test?
Yes, I did.
What happened?
And we argued about that.
What's the argument? She admitted she didn't know.
He wanted me to pay half of DNA test, but Mr. Mapson also wanted me to pay half. I wasn't finna pay half for both people.
Wait a minute. She done gone half on the baby and won't go half on the DNA test.
Your Honor.
Now that doesn't make no sense.
Your Honor.
Your daughter, Michaela, has a right to know.
Yes? Yes, Johnny.
So now that Michaela is here, has anyone bonded with her? Have either of you two gentlemen? You have, Mr. Mapson. So
Yes.
now that she's here.
I went to see the baby, and she was pretty. She was a beautiful baby. So I showed her around to my family, even called my kids, asked them what they think about her, and they all said, we believe it's yours, because she kind of looked like my youngest son or whatever.
So you had to take this beautiful new baby around to your family and to your children and literally just say, do you all think she looks like me?
Correct.
And are you all in a relationship?
No, we're not, because we're trying to get the results of this, and then maybe we could move forward. But I don't want to lose Mr. Mapson, but I'm afraid that if he's not the father, our relationship is basically over.
So, Mr. Mapson, are you willing to work on this
did that.
relationship
I
if,
didn't
in
do that.
fact, it's determined that Michaela is your biological daughter?
She mine. I'm willing to be with her. I told her once that marry or whatever, we just do what we gotta do.
And what if she's not yours?
If she's not, that right there, that'll hurt.
Mr. Anderson, have you spent time with the baby?
Well, I came up there one time, you know.
Yeah, he came
Came
one
up
time.
there one time.
Like when
you
I
know,
came out the
looked at her,
hospital.
you know, talked
And
to
when
her
you
and
saw the baby, did you feel like
well,
this child could be mine?
Not really. I mean, you know, I had them doubts. You know, I had my doubts, but you know, that's a child. You know, and a child deserves to know who their parents are. You know, they do. I mean,
What about that?
You seem like you feel emotional right now, Mr. Anderson. What do you feel?
I'd have been through so much. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what I went through before I got here.
What are you feeling now?
I'm feeling pain.
Because
Hurt.
this situation really bothers you.
this situation has affected my life. You know, my baby mama texting her all the time, talking about this situation. Well, anyway, we get into it. She called police, told me I had to get my stuff, get out. You know, I got on now. After that happened, another man there. She done kicked me out. I done spent money. You there right now?
And now Mr. Anderson's relationship is destroyed, Ms. Whitman. But the truth of the matter is is you're worried that the situation is going to destroy your relationship with Mr. Mapson because you don't want to be with Mr. Anderson.
No, there's no way that me and Mr. Anderson could be together.
But you want to be with Mr. Mapson.
Yes, that's who I want to be with. And if I'm afraid if the baby's not his, he will not be.
He will respond
I
the
think
way
maybe
Mr.
he'll-
Anderson's girlfriend did and not want to be a part of a relationship with you.
Yes, probably, basically, yes.
Yeah, you might be right on that one.
But I love Mr. Mapson, and that's who I want to be with.
But see, I just want to know, if the child is mine or not.
And
I didn't want to come on here and just blast on. I'm just trying to tell, I'm just telling the truth about the situation.
And that's exactly why you're here, is to tell the truth
Right.
and to get the truth.
Right.
Which is what I have for you. Ms. Whitman, I'm going to go to results. And I just have to ask you because, like I said, we're here to tell the truth. I've heard Mr. Anderson's testimony. Is there any chance that neither one of these gentlemen
No,
are the
Your
father
Honor.
of your child?
No, Your Honor, there's no chance that anybody else could be the father.
So you are positive
Yes, Your Honor. I
that
am.
there is absolutely no other possibility, that no other man besides these two could be the father of your child?
That's right, Your Honor.
There's one.
No, it's not.
You agree with Mr. Anderson, Mr. Mapson? You believe there's a third?
All I know was about Mr. Anderson. I don't know nothing about nobody else.
There's no one else. People,
That's
I was
me.
texting people. People might have come over to my house to chill, but I was not having sex with anyone else but Mr. Anderson. And me and Mr. Anderson was not together, so I couldn't have cheated on him or anything like that. We were just friends.
What
for
about the guy that
benefit.
stayed up there a week with you?
No guy stayed there a week. I don't know what guy he's talking about. It's no one
Do you
else.
see that
know.
same smirk, Mr. Mapson?
Look at you.
Every
Yeah,
time
you
we
know.
mention this car in this week. Ms. Whitman,
Yes, Your Honor.
what's that smile about?
See, I'm looking like the
Because
bad
Because
guy.
I personally don't see anything funny.
I'm looking like the bad guy here.
You know, I'm thinking about a little girl who's sitting up here waiting any minute. Somebody put me on my daddy's lap. Oh, I know. First, we got to figure out who he is.
Well, there was a guy that stayed there a week, but this is the guy. Me and the guy was not together. His girlfriend put him out, and me being as a friend because he had to get all his electric.
Y'all weren't friends. Y'all was just
utilities.
like me and you was.
No, we was not. Me
So
and
you
the other
admitted
guy
that you
was
lied in the
too.
courtroom
Knocking you through the
previously.
mattress,
You
that's
said
what we was
a
doing.
man was not staying there with you for
But
a
we
week.
were not having sex. He stayed there. He was sleeping on the couch. He stayed there until he got all his utilities at his house back
And you didn't
on.
tell Mitch
And I
about
was
that,
helping
did
him
you?
out.
No, nothing
No, I
about
did
that.
not tell Mr.
So the bottom line is, you've just admitted that you lied in the courtroom previously because you previously stated that a man did not stay at your home for a week when Mr. Anderson testified that he did. So now, I need to ask you again, is there any possibility that
No, Your
the
Honor,
father of
because-
your beautiful little girl could be someone other than these two men?
No, Your Honor, because that happened way before I even got pregnant.
He was there in the
All right.
same month.
No,
Well,
there's
October
nothing.
is the
No, he
same
was
month.
not.
He was there
I
the
got pregnant the beginning of October, and he was there 1 week, and after he left, then you came, and no one
And then
else
after
was
that,
there.
Let me
Him.
tell you what.
No, no one
Miss
else there that
Whitman,
month.
Miss Whitman, look, your credibility just went down the tube. So Jerome, thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Whitman v. Mapson Anderson, as to whether Mr. Mapson or Mr. Anderson is the biological father of 1-month-old Michaela. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. As to whether Mr. Mapson or Mr. Anderson is the biological father of 1-month-old Michaela. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Anderson, you are not her father.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I knew it. I knew it all the time. All that stuff you've done to me.
We have another result.
Boy,
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Mapson, you are her father.
can I come up and shake his hand?
He'd like to shake your hand.
Oh. Good luck, man. All right. That's a beautiful girl you got.
Miss St. James, you claim for the first 33 years of your life, you were a daddy's girl from early childhood all the way through your dad walking you down the aisle. But just 6 months ago, after an argument, your father dropped a bomb on you and said, "You are not my daughter." You and your brother have opened a case to prove paternity today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Esaw, you state you have always believed Miss St. James was not your biological daughter, but could never find the right time to tell her the truth. You state this 33-year-old secret has been haunting you for way too long, and you are ready for the truth to set you free. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss St. James,
Yes, Your Honor.
tell the court what happened 6 months ago.
I wrote my dad a letter right before Christmas, a couple weeks before Christmas, just telling him how I felt about him not being in his grandchildren's lives and how he's not being the father that we need since we lost our mother at a young age. And that was his response, is the reason why I haven't been in your life is because the reason why he didn't answer any of my questions.
That is not true.
He didn't answer my questions. He basically responded 3 days later with the reason why you went through the things you did as a child is because you're not my daughter. That was his response.
That is not what I, that is,
So
that's a
that
blatant
was
lie.
the
That's a
first
blatant lie.
time you had ever heard of
He
a
called me and
paternity question, anything.
Ever.
You just wrote your dad a letter. And
He
this is the
responded
father
3
you've
days-
known your whole life.
My whole life. You're great.
What happened, Mr. Esaw? How did this all
6
start?
months ago. It's something that I've always wanted to talk to her about and tell her, you know, and it just never was the right time.
Is it your testimony that for 33 years you have known that Miss St. James was not your biological daughter?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
What did her mother tell you?
She just basically told me she was pregnant.
This was not something you knew for certain?
No, not 100%. I mean, it wasn't 100%,
And
but you know,
that's
the
why
doctors,
he shouldn't have
everybody
never
should have
said
been,
anything. That's why he shouldn't have did this to me. I've been
timelines,
through so much stress and anxiety
timelines
because
haven't
of
matched
what
up
this has happened.
based on the
you
doctor.
don't do that. I went to his house every summer, Christmas. You couldn't have me swabbed. You couldn't do anything. All these years, I'm 33 years old.
It seems, I mean, I understand your stress, Miss St. James. I can see it in your eyes, and it truly is
Breaks my
palpable.
heart.
Tell the court, what has this 6 months been like?
I've been throwing up every day. I have anxiety. I have stress. I have an autistic son that I'm trying to raise. I've been just, ever since, I can't eat. I'm losing weight. I'm just torn apart. He's just trying to kill me, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna die
Oh, honey.
of heartbreak.
Oh, honey. So this has completely rocked you to the core.
Yes, it has.
because you felt like whether the relationship was good or bad, you knew that families go through ups and downs, but you believe you had your daddy and you knew who he was.
And my dad, and the letter that I wrote him had nothing to do with my childhood. He kept texting me, I'm gonna write you and tell you about, I said, why do you wanna tell me about my childhood? I'm grown now, what are you talking about my childhood? I'm asking you why you're not in our lives today. And he says to me, I'm gonna call you in a few and let you know why. And he did. I'm not your dad.
Let me be clear. Did you say to your daughter, I am not your biological
Yes.
father, or did you say, I may not be?
He said, I'm not.
I'm not, and I explained to her
he,
why.
and
It
he
wasn't
also
a mean
offered
way.
two more men that could possibly be my father.
And Mr. Esaw, I want to be clear. Miss St. James' mother, she's always talked to you about you being the father.
Correct.
And she never wavered on
And he
the
paid
fact that
child
you
support
were
my whole life.
the biological father.
Correct.
What was your relationship with her mother? Can you take us back?
From the beginning, she transferred into the school that I was going to. I seen her that morning, and she looked good. So I'm like, well, everybody's kind of like, wow, who's that? And I asked her if she wanted to go to the party, and she said yes. Picked her up, and we, that's when I first had our first, had sex, and it just kind of went on from there.
And so you started a relationship.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so take me to the pregnancy. When her mom found out she was pregnant, were you told?
She told me yes.
And so take me back to that time.
Basically, she told me she was pregnant, and I'm like, okay. You're 18, you're like, okay. I'm like, wow. You don't really know how to really react, but I was like, okay, wow, she's pregnant. And it wasn't until the doctor told her how far along she was, and doing the math, it was, before me. And, so it wasn't like she was cheating on me, because we had just started. She was already pregnant prior to us meeting.
That was
So he
what
said.
you believed
Yes.
at the outset. As soon as she told you she was pregnant, you did the math in your mind and said she must have been pregnant before she met me.
Not right away. I mean, that's nothing you think about right away, because she's telling you she's pregnant. There's other emotions going on.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. But at some point, Mr. Esaw, you continue a relationship with her mother because you all end up having her brother, KJ.
Right, later on, yes.
They got married after I was born.
So
He named
how,
me.
How huge could the doubt have been if you ended up continuing the relationship, getting married, having another child? What's happening here?
One of the things, also talking to my mom, and she explained the time frames. Okay, she sat down and talked to me and was like, okay, when did this happen? When did that happen? When did this happen?
And he probably told her whatever she needed to hear.
And what the doctor said.
All right, and your mother is here. I would like to
Yes.
hear from you, ma'am. Please stand. Step up to the podium and state your name for the court.
Helene Reese.
Ms. Reese, thank you for joining us today. I would like to know, how is it that you determined that there was truly a doubt surrounding the paternity of Miss St. James? And what did you convey to your son about that doubt?
She and her mom came to my house with this piece of paper that had terminations could be done through 24 weeks in California and through 20 weeks or something like that in Colorado. So when I looked at this piece of paper and when I talked with him later, I asked him, when was he first intimate with her?
And what did your son tell you?
He told me that it was right before Valentine's Day. And based on what he told me, I said, okay, this should not be 20 weeks.
So you asked your son, when did you meet this young woman?
Right.
And what date did you become intimate? Your son gave you the date, and you
Approximately.
determined through the paperwork the window of conception was before
Right.
when your son claimed he even met Miss St. James'
Right.
mother. So then for the past 33 years, you've been grandmother. You've been that.
Yes.
And once your son married Miss St. James' mother, they went on to have a family, another son.
Yes.
You're the grandmother.
Yes.
Mr. Esaw, KJ, I want to hear from you because I know this is difficult testimony and your sister is very emotional and we understand why. This is not easy. Your entire life, were you ever told anything different, that your father was not your sister's biological father?
Through my whole life, I thought that Jasmine was my sister. We were out the only ones that came from my mom and him. So that's all I've known, him being my father. So to get this news like this is just, it's just it's hurting as far as, the allegations put upon my mother.
Yes.
It's just like, why now? You had so many other opportunities, and it just feels like that this is out of spite. It feels like this is out of anger because of the words that she said to him, bothered him.
And so you believe that truly your father doesn't have any reason to doubt your sister. You believe this is maybe out of anger because she challenged him about his level of involvement in the family and basically said, I need you to do better.
Definitely, and he didn't take that very well.
And you have never heard anybody say that Mr. Esaw, your father, is not your sister's biological father.
Well, my dad did call me one time in 2009. He had a little liquor in him, and he was crying, and he said that Jasmine might not be his.
And what did you say?
I said, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking
and then
about?
He called him back and told him I was drunk, and he didn't mean what he said.
Did you call back the next day, Mr. Esaw, and say, I'm sorry, I was drunk, I didn't mean what I said?
I did.
So
I was in my emotions.
There's those moments where they say, a drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts. And that says to me that whether you have a reason to doubt or not, why 33 years? I mean, we are now, we've progressed so much in the realm of paternity and all of these things. And why is it not?
My daddy was in the Air Force. He lived a nice life, He had money. He could have got a test done any summer, any Christmas that he said he had us.
So I want to understand that
child.
from you. What happened? How does life just keep happening?
It's hard. Like I said, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, and it's hard. I mean, it's never the right time. I always had, and I take full responsibility for that because I should have. And I've told her that many times. Yes, I should have. Your mom should have. Your mom was gone. It was my responsibility. Yeah, and I should have. But there's never the right time. It's all, like I said. I always made excuses because it was so hard to do. I've always made, like she said, she's a daddy's girl. That was one of the hardest things I've had to ever do in my life. I always made excuses. Well, it's a birthday coming up. Here's a holiday coming up here. And I always made excuses for that because it was hard for me to do. I didn't know how to do it.
So, Miss St. James, what are your hopes for today? Your father, he's walked you down the aisle. You said you're a daddy's girl. This has been...
He better not be my daddy. The last 6 months have been hell. Hell on earth for me since December 8th or whatever day it was that you decided to say you're not my daddy no more. If you don't want to be my daddy, you don't have to be.
Jim, tell the truth about how I told you. You're making it sound like I just came out and said, I'm not your daddy.
You said, I'm not your father, just like that. That's
okay,
on the phone.
I just picked up the phone and said, you're not my father.
You said, I have something to tell you. I'm not your daddy. And I said, you're lying. We look just alike. We both have booty chins. You said, I'm not the only person with a booty chin. The other guys got booty chins too. I went looking for both of the men.
That is not how I told you.
I found one of them. And he said that my mom and dad told him that he didn't need to worry about it because I was his child. So
you actually went to find one of the other potential fathers.
I found one of them.
And that man told you.
No, his son told me because I didn't talk to him. I talked to his son.
Okay, so you talked to the son, and the son of this man said that my father was told years ago that he didn't have anything to worry about. Mr. Esaw was your biological father.
That's what that man
which
told
then
his
reaffirmed
son.
what you had been told.
Yep.
So the truth is, nobody really knows. There has been a paternity secret brewing for over 3 decades. And nobody really knows the truth.
And nobody can even understand how I feel and what I've been through. Like, I don't have enough stress. I lost my mother when I was 18 years old. I'm raising a son with autism. And me, whether he's my father or not, had nothing to do with the letter that I wrote. So why are you telling me to answer the questions in the letter?
Miss St. James?
And I did.
No, you did not.
Miss St. James, have you prepared yourself for these results today?
Yes, I have. I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
Because I have the truth for you.
I need the truth.
As you stand here in this moment, do you still believe Mr. Esaw is your biological father?
I do.
You do. Jerome, let's get the truth. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of St. James versus Esaw, when it comes to 33-year-old Jasmine St. James, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Esaw,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are not the father.
Can I give her a hug?
That's better.
It's
I can accept it.
And I'm sorry I waited so long. I mean, I've always taken responsibility for, as I talking to her, of not telling her. That was her right to know. And she should have been told a long time ago, not when she's 33 years old. But you'll never understand how hard that is.
It truly is why we do this, because we want people to have the truth. Can you tell the court in this moment just what are you feeling? What are you thinking? What do you need?
I need my mama. I need my mama. I need my mama. That's all I need. I can't get no answers without her. Only she knows who she slept with. Only she knows who she was with. I appreciate him for raising me and being my daddy, but I'm still hurt. Somebody should have told me the truth.
And listen, we're here now, and I want you to understand your dad has said he had 2 additional names. If these gentlemen are still alive, we are here for you because that's what we do here.
Thank you.
Okay? So I don't want you to think all is lost because you still have your family and now you got me and my staff. Do you understand? So this is not over.